So, good day. Hello. Welcome to Nia's Divine Garden. This is Iadania, and this video is inspired by a TikTok I saw today about a young woman who, just based on that one TikTok, seems to be going through an awakening and her gifts are manifesting. Specifically, clairvoyance by way of actual um, eyes open, visions, seeing energies, spirits, etc., and dream experiences, very vivid dreaming. So I'll try to link the original, but I'll also link my initial response because this is a continuation or an expounding of my first thoughts. So, um, the young woman's comment section, like the short version of what was said was that, she was apparently someplace, maybe a hospital. She sees this man, but nobody else sees them. And she continues to say out loud that she sees this individual, but nobody else sees them. This is such a touchy subject, you know what I'm saying? But my encouragement would be to, if you feel like you see something and no one else sees it, like a person, an object, an animal. My oatmeal. Sorry, I had to make oatmeal. Mommy duties. So the the notion that she continued to go on in this medical facility concerned me a little bit. I had mixed feelings because this could either go one of two ways. This could be someone having spiritual gifts manifest, or it could be something else. But based upon the fact that this is a part two of a video, I'm wondering, or a part two of a story or a situation, whether or not, um, you know, and if I check the, content, I'll make some notes on the screen or something in the description box that I look, if they've been going through this for a minute and this is just an additional story. Because then again, I'm going to wonder why the people who are following it in the comments did not suggest seeking out an elder, someone that they can talk to about this. Because based upon what they said in the dream, I'm thinking that they were raised as a Christian. And in that respect, they may not even realize, there are people that can help them to own and have sovereignty in their gifts. And I think that was one of the things I am most grateful for in my own journey, is that even before I had an elder, there was a certain level of discernment I had in the spiritual content creators that I was tapping into. And one, like, I've often said, like with EFI, I didn't rush into, like, the moment I found a reach, I'm going to initiate. That's not what happened. I had an interesting ebb and flow relationship with Orisha specifically until I felt like, this is definitely something I want to connect with. I was raised in an Abrahamic faith. I wasn't raised Christian or Muslim, but I was raised as an Israelite. So I'm still raised in a similar structured of belief, and this was completely contrary to this. So I had to come to my own um, understanding and understanding to what this meant to me, and how this related to everything that I had grown up with. So one of the things that I found was about my your gifts. I know now certain ones of my gifts may have actually already been present in my youth, and I didn't know, and because they didn't manifest, they weren't overt like some people. Some people say they've been seeing spirits since they were a kid. I don't know that. I can't tell you that. I can't say that to you. I can tell you I've always had dreams, and some of them even from my childhood were prophetic. That I can say. I can tell you that I've always had an affinity to feeling like I can control the weather. I can tell you that sometimes I always just knew stuff. This is partially why I didn't always have to study for tests, because sometimes I just know the answers. My I may not myself be what some would deem as an elder, but my soul is definitely one. And when we know stuff, um, the the strong intuition. I've always had a really strong intuition, even though I didn't know that was the word for it. And I've probably always been able to somewhat sense energy. I've always been an empath. So somebody crying around me, I'm going to cry. Watching a movie, I'm going to cry. Like that was always a thing. So those were the gifts that basically elevated when I started having a conscious spiritual awakening. And one of the things that was like, you can decide what your connection to spirit looks like and feels like. And it probably sounds like, how do you, like, you are the sovereign. You are. At the end of the day, we are all one. At the end of the day, we are each individually the Most High having a human experience. Just like the Most High is having a tree experience, the Most High is having a bird experience, the Most High is having this, like, the Most High has just said, the source of all is like, yo, I'm going to, of me, create all of this. Whether they were angels, deities, all of these things are created, birthed from one source. Everything. Whether you deem that thing good, bad, or indifferent, that thing has the same source as you. There is only one source. That's it. So, as you being that energy of source made manifest into a human vessel, so now you're becoming more consciously aware of these gifts and their expression. And so you are also need to be aware that you are the sovereign in this relationship. You are the sovereign. At the end of the day, whether you believe it's a guardian angel, whether you believe it's an angel, I mean an ancestor, an Orisha, an ascended master, all of the above. Like me, I got a squad. Gratitude to my divine council, my divine court, because it's varied and nuanced, and how, who, and how you can indicate what you are ready to take in terms of how to experience them in the moment. So if someone was to ask me, are you clairvoyant? Absolutely. I am clairvoyant. And I will have visions occasionally. I am a prolific dreamer. Um, Sometimes I can, like if I'm looking at someone, I can see their aura and or if there is somebody with them. But the individual that I see with them is a light being. I don't necessarily see like, oh, I see a face and eyes and blah, blah, blah. I may sometimes be able to discern hair. So if they ask me if the person is male or female or whatever, I can, give that answer. But at the end of the day, if you tell me if I see like John sitting there with a suit on, no, because that is not how my gift currently manifests. Have I ever? It's trying to come. It's trying to come. I saw somebody walking up my hall one morning. I'm just like, ain't nobody helping me. I, okay, alrighty then. Um, so, but I've also just, we've had a conversation. Like my spiritual team knows when and how certain things to express. Even with my dreaming, I was having some really like back to back like lucid dreams, and then I had one, and I'll be honest, it freaked me out. The head coming out of my couch, I wasn't ready for that. I said, "Do." And for a minute, I stopped having lucid dreams, and it was like, I'm ready to have lucid dreams again. And so now it has been, you know, I need to get actual rest. I need to go to bed at a timely fashion in order for me to lucid dream so that I can get enough sleep to get to that state. But there's a partnership. There isn't, you know, there's a partnership. We are together because at the end of the day, my ancestors ain't separate from me. They are me. At the end of the day, the angels that support me are a part of me. At the end of the day, Orisha is in me as much as they are around me. So it's a partnership. Thus, as you, the head partner of the firm, you need to say, This is how I need this experience to go. Every once in a while, like, no, we're not gonna do the pushing. You want to knock? Okay, cool, cool. I'm cool with knocks. I'm okay with that. I can even, like, every once in a while, depending on who it is, it'll feel like a or a squeeze or something like that. I'm totally okay with that. And I'm even getting to where I'm okay with, see. I absolutely catch the things out of the corner of my eye. I see orbs, whether it's out the corner of my eye or directly in front of me. I see that. I see colors, all of those things. I'll be doing a video sometimes, and on a good day, I can see my aura casting on the wall, or I can tell there's somebody with me as I'm doing the video. All of these things. But that was because at that stage of my journey, that's something I learned. And based upon the fact that this young woman is having this experience of her gifts that is less than comfortable, no one has yet said this to her. And that really bothered me. Everybody can't in the moment say, I got cash ready to pay somebody to be my elder. Everybody don't have that. I didn't have it. I also was not necessarily in a space where that was what I needed at the time. I was grateful that I found the conscious creators I found, because instead of them telling me you need to go out and see who your head Orisha is, because that's what I see. Well, I want to know who my head Orisha is. It's your Ori. There's your answer. Your head Orisha is your Ori. You, your head, your consciousness. Build that relationship first. That's why if you go to my coursework, none of my coursework talks about guardian angels or anything like that. It talks about self-love, connecting with your higher self, and connecting with your ancestors. And that's what I did. That was the okay. That was the order. That was the way that my journey unfolded. That way, by the time I got to my elder, who was gifted to me in a way, I was gifted a divination for my birthday with my Elote. And by the time I got to her, she said, you are already living Ifa. You are already walking with Iwapele. Have you listened to, we're in the midst of conversations, like, I want you to watch this recording so you can hear you divining over yourself. These are things I was already doing. Why? Because I had already been doing work prior to the elder. The elder was made manifest when I was at the point in my journey where I would be able to discern if this elder was the right one for me. Don't think I didn't have the random priests and priestesses and everybody else in my inbox. They all showed up. They were like, hey, your head. No, they did not. They didn't. Your ancestors, if the ancestors have something to say to me, they know how to get me. Even with my clairvoyance and claircognizance and um, clairaudience, not have been what they were. What I did have is a strong intuition and discernment. Ain't nobody sent you to me. Well, I can, then tell me. You got a message? Just tell me. Don't beat around the bush. Tell me. What's the message? Who said it and what's the message? Well, you can be, I don't have to beat you nowhere. Because if you truly have a message to deliver, you just deliver it. If it is truly on your heart, I want to do a reading for you. If you truly were sent a message, then you don't have to read the person. You got the message. If I tell somebody I got a dream for them, they know it's legit, because one, chances are we don't hang like that. And two, I'm not asking to do a reading for you. Do you want to know what the dream was? Yes or no? You do? Cool. This is what the dream was. This is what it meant. This is what I think you should do. And that's it. And it has always been, let's just say they've always come to fruition. Um, so, and the ones that have done the work and done the homework always circle back like, yo, remember what you said, blah, 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 blah. Yo, well, da, 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 da. It's always like that. That is when you know. You know what I'm saying? That's when you know. So I was grateful in how my journey unfolded. You have to understand when you tell people don't be afraid. You know what? It's easy to say that when you're somebody maybe that grew up with hoodoo. It's easy to tell somebody don't be afraid if, let's say, you grew up in a household that dealt with spirits. It's easy to say that. It's also severely condescending. You know, just like everyone else in the diaspora did not grow up that way. So there's a certain level of compassion that needs to be held for people who are trying to find their way in this new normal for them, especially in the Black community, when we have systematically been programmed to hate everything African about ourselves. We are now coming to a place building slowly but surely these connections and putting these things together. I was chuckling earlier like y'all want to celebrate Kwanzaa but you don't want to honor your ancestors. But it's okay, baby steps. You know what I'm saying? Baby steps. It is a journey, and some of us do have to take the journey alone, but you don't have to. And if this journey is uncomfortable for you, I encourage you to pray for the elder that is in alignment with your journey to be made clear to you so that you can connect with this individual and they can help support you. And you will know because the moment you talk to them, when I talked to my ELO day, it was like talking to a best friend. That's real. Like, I love my ELO day. I love her because one, our journeys are very similar. When I listen to her story and think about my own, there are so many parallels. It's almost scary. I'm like, yo, what is this? I said to her more than one time, like, we had to have known each other in another life because the mirroring of our youth. And understand this. Understand your elder may not also be your physical elder because I am older than my ELO day. In fact, every spiritual elder I have had thus far, age wise, has been younger than me. They just had more tenure in their spiritual walk, and that's what I needed. But every elder, whether it is a teacher that I found on YouTube or someone I connected with one on one, every last one of them is younger than me. Ashe. So understand, be open to receive your elder in whatever form that they need to come in. Even the gentleman that I talk to on a regular basis at the shop, I sometimes do readings at. He's younger than me, and I'm just like, and I thought he was older than me. I did, and then he said his birthday, and I'm just like, am I older than everybody? What is this? But I look good. Um, but yeah, if you're going through an awakening, I would just encourage you to get an elder. In regards to the dream, because I want to make sure before I go, I touch on the dream part. I'm trying to think of a good way to say this. If you have some really jacked up dreams and you're trying to get the message, get the learning, get the the notion that your lesson has to take you through a full-on tower moment is not true for everyone. Ask your spiritual team to give you your lesson in a way that is easy. You only get that, and it's like it's a gradual buildup. It's like I'm gonna try to give this to you the easy way. One, okay. I'm gonna try to give it to you easy way two. Okay, this it's just not working. There's been a buildup. The lesson, the message has been trying to get to you easy at the start. But you didn't hear it, you didn't see it. This is why sometimes you'll be on a hamster wheel and you've been running on a hamster wheel for so long that now you hit the momentum of the air spinning as you're spinning this wheel has now created a funnel. And this funnel has now created a tornado. Now you're gonna have a full tower moment because you couldn't hear the message, the lesson, the learning when it was easy. But now that you're being tossed around in the currents of the storm, oh, you hear them now. So before you get into the storm, while you're standing in the eye and the calm in the center of the lesson, ask to receive it clearly. But in your dream state, you know, you ain't got to sit around and have nightmares all the time. Let's just you just don't. I was There were just days I didn't want to sleep because I was having night terrors. Like, I won't even go to some of the things I saw. It was just not. It is not that I don't get messages in my dreams. It just doesn't have to be delivered to me in that way. Like, there's another way to get the same message across. You know what I'm saying? There's always more than one way. So, what way would you like it? There's multiple flavors of medicine. Which flavor do you want? So, things that I did to help me. And when I say I had night terrors, sleep paralysis, the whole nine. So, one of the things I did was I started making sure I was sleeping in my bed more. And because I had a nightstand. And on my nightstand, I had a glass or a bowl of water. And for me, I had amethyst. There are several stones that are good for clear and dreams, but I used amethyst because it's my birthstone. So I connect strongly to it. And for me, I used to put it in my water, but I also programmed my water. So water holds memory. So I would talk to my water. I still do this. Thank you so much for your keeping my space clean and clear. Thank you for clear communication. Thank you for helping me remember my dreams. Thank you for making sure my dreams are peaceful. Whatever you want the water to do, I tell it. And I'm always saying thank you. I'm appreciative to the water. And then I sit it on my nightstand. And for a little bit, I think for like a week, I also slept with one with salt in it under my bed. And when that one was done, I took it out. I didn't even look at it. I was like, no, not looking at this. Took it out, went out my back door, and tossed it out. That was that. So, and that was for an energy cleansing because I heard someone ask. So before you ask in the comments, it was to clear my energy um, while I was sleeping. I also paid attention to the sounds I had around me while I was sleeping. I had no problem remembering my dreams. Like, I've never had a problem remembering my dreams, like ever. The issue, hold on, let's say that better. 90% of the time, I can remember almost every dream I had. On average, you have about 4 to 6 dreams a night, and about 4 to 6 memories will be present when I get up in the morning. What I wasn't doing was writing them down. So that's what I started doing. And before I started sleeping with my journal beside my bed, I had it in my bed, under my pillow, a notebook and a pen to tell my mind I want to remember the dream so I could write it down. And I did not judge how much I wrote. I wrote whatever I could recall, a song, a color, a person, a smell, whatever I could remember, I wrote it down. And the more I wrote, the more I wrote. So that was the other thing. And then I took time to learn what my dream symbolism means for me. You can absolutely go get dream books, look in, Google dream meanings. All these things are helpful. But at the end of the day, you have to learn what your own spiritual language is. You have to learn what your spiritual symbolism means. This is why understanding your birth chart is really good because then you can understand some of the ways that Mercury and communication look in your chart. That way you can understand, okay, maybe I see patterns. Like if your Mercury's in Aquarius, you would probably see a lot of signs and synchronicities because we can see patterns really, really well. That's why we are such, like we can see the big picture. And that's why Aquariuses are really good at pulling out signs and synchronicities. You have to decide how that looks for you. You can also set your dream language because, again, you are the sovereign. You get to make the decisions. But once you understand your dream language, then it helps you to determine what your dream is trying to tell you. Are some dreams just dreams? Yeah, sure. Some are just dreams. I have full on dreams in anime. And I do mean that in anime. Like it's animated. My dreams are animated. So understand that. And once you do the work of consciously trying to make your space where you sleep peaceful, your dreams will become more peaceful. This wasn't like this, it happened immediately, but I will say, because I was consistent, it happened fast. I won't say it will happen fast for you, but it happened fast for me. And this is not work some elder told me like that I was working with one on one. Again, this was study, pay attention, and intuition. And that's what I did. So I hope this helps either the young lady if she sees this. I hope this helps you. If drop something in the comments, let me know. Especially since I'm getting ready to do podcast season topics. If there's something you want me to talk about regarding awakenings or anything else that I may have mentioned, drop me a note in the comments. Let me know. And if you're new here, please go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you know that when I'm posting new content, even though podcast season is getting ready to start, since my podcast can also host videos now, that doesn't mean YouTube is going to go completely silent. So, yay! So, I will talk to y'all soon. Take care.